I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the thing that's been on my mind most lately is my relationships. And I'm not just talking about like boyfriend girlfriend relationships, I'm talking about like every kind of relationship. So, like family relationships and friendships and relationships with people at work. Just how to maintain these relationships when we're being asked to distance ourselves from people so much. So, that's been on my mind a lot lately. And I've been thinking about a lot about how one of the things that I've always been really good at is multitasking. I know it's not always a good thing, but I do it a lot. So I think I've been multitasking a lot lately. I've got my phone in one hand and I've got my laptop on my lap and I've got the TV on behind me. So on my phone, I'm texting people, and then on my laptop, I'm scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, and then on the TV on in the background I have Netflix or Hulu or YouTube or Spotify or something like that. And all of this because I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be lonely. And I'm afraid of being alone. And I feel like this is something that we all have experienced, especially lately, that we're experiencing this part of us that was created for a relationship, that desires to be in contact with other people. And that's a really important and good part of how we were created. And that's what draws us to social media. We know that we were designed, we were made to love and to be loved. We were created to know and to be known at the deepest part of our hearts. And we know that we're not complete without that human contact, that human relationship. So that's what draws us to social media. We want that contact with other people, and when we can't have it in person, we're just drawn to other ways, right? But as we all know, too much of a good thing is no longer a good thing, right? Am I right? I think we found that out quite a bit recently with how much we've been using social media. I don't know about you guys, but I've been really overwhelmed by screens just all day, every day. And definitely been feeling that weight of being alone and being afraid of losing relationships, being afraid of falling out of relationships like that, and not not having that love that I know I'm made for. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed by screens, if you've been longing for that in-person contact that we can't necessarily have right now, if you've been struggling with negative thoughts or thoughts of feeling alone or depressed or anxious, I promise you that you're not alone. And just to show you a little bit of a snip of how you're not alone, we have some thoughts from young people in our parish and young people in our community that they would like to share with you about their own experience of social media and quarantine and their own struggles with their own mental health right now.
What is your most used social media app? As of right now, it's probably Instagram. It's just social media, like the use of my social media has gone up so much from all the COVID and quarantine and online school that that's definitely the most app that I use because of I like to see like what people post. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think your parents slash adults help in any way, like to help your like mental health or like your use of social media?
Um, Honestly, not so much. I don't think I'm not saying this in the sense that they make it worse, but um, I'd probably benefit from not having my phone for a while because it makes me want to work less in my homework and school. Yeah.
What's your most used social media app?
Snapchat.
Um, is there any specific reason why?
Texting friends and family.
Okay. And has COVID affected your social media use in any way?
Not really.
Not particularly. Do you think it also has like kind of brought you away from like society as a whole?
A little bit, yeah.
Just a bit.
Not being able to go on sleeping movies, so I text them.
I mean, yeah, that's very understandable.
So as a parent, how do you think you can help your kids like with their mental health?
Spending more time outdoors, activities together as far as siblings working together, and maybe spending have conversations, way to interact with people.
What social media app have you like heard the most about?
Probably Facebook.
Probably Facebook. Okay. Have you heard it in more of a negative or more of a positive aspect?
Usually negative. I mean, there's obviously positive aspects to it, and staying in touch with friends and sharing information, but also there can be danger getting, indulging in it a little bit too much and always wanting to know what's going on and maybe being in that virtual world instead of interacting with people and having real conversations.
How do you think your mental health has changed through COVID?
There's been a lot of ups and downs. There have been some like silver linings and things that have improved my mental health, but then there's been a lot of like distance from people and just challenges to overcome. And definitely spending a lot more time on screens and Facebook and things like that I probably shouldn't have. So I'd say there were improvements, but overall, probably a big decline. Yeah.
Okay, so you had talked about using social media, and you probably see negative in social media. What do you think is the most negative social media app out there?
Oh wow. Honestly, it's probably something that I'm not even aware of, to be honest. The only one I really get on is Facebook and sometimes Instagram. The most negative one. I feel like the one that I've heard the most negative things about recently would be Tinder. But also, I know that there's been a lot of negative stuff going around on TikTok, but I also know that there's positives for that. So I'd say Tinder might be one of the most negative ones I've heard about. But I'm sure there are worse ones that I haven't heard of. So.
Aiden, how do you think your mental health has changed through COVID?
I think it has gotten worse. Yeah, just a tiny bit like downhill. Mainly because I haven't been seeing people that really like lift up my spirits and really actually being with specific people like you or that just makes me so much happy to be around people instead of like actually saying like on a screen hello, because you can't feel the emotions there. So now that emotionally and mentally I feel like I have grown as I've been out more, but when I was in quarantine for the first time I felt like completely bad because it's just went downhill so much.
I relate. What is the most negative social media app to you?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I mean, they all got some sort of problems. I think the least negative one is, I guess, Snapchat, because you don't see a whole lot of negativity around like into it. But probably for the most, I'd say probably Twitter, as a lot of things just get sent around, and the fact that you can just repeat a message and put it on your story, and if someone doesn't like that, like negativity just comes in at every single angle. It just goes into a snowball effect of negativity when something arises, and I think that's why it's like regarded as one of the more negative social media apps.
Do you think like the number of friends that you have like affect your mental health in any way?
I think yeah, like especially like at my school, like there's a lot of like popular girls that are all like friends with each other.
Yeah.
But really, like none of them really like each other, and they're just using each other. And like you can see that when like you're on their like private story, and they're posting about how like they feel like they have no friends and stuff like that. But then also like the people who don't have like really any friends, they have like maybe one or two, and then just like a couple acquaintances. You see them just posting about how like they wish like how like depressed they are and how lonely they are. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely really works with a specific people as well. get beside yourself that school beside you. I mean, you want to do something to entertain yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there are many of you watching this who would say that they feel very similarly about quarantine and about social media and about your own mental health right now, especially. Would you like to talk about those things with other people your age? Would you like to talk with your peers about your struggles with social media, your struggles with being alone and feeling afraid right now, with being anxious and maybe feeling depressed? Would you like to talk about those things with other people? Would you like to talk about how to deal with those thoughts, with your experiences of maybe not being treated well on social media, about the negative influence that it can sometimes have? Would you like to talk about how to deal with struggles mentally, with negative thoughts about yourself, or just about life in general? Would you like to talk about how to improve your social media experience so that maybe you don't have such a negative effect on your mental health and your well-being? If you would like to talk about all these things with peers your age, and if you'd like to talk about them from a faith perspective, then I encourage you to join a Zoom conversation that we are going to have on Sunday, this coming Sunday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. If you would like to join in that conversation, please either contact myself, my name is Jessica Pehmoeller, at the St. Wendelin Parish Office, either through phone or email, and that information will be available on the post, on this post. Either contact me or contact one of the young people of our parish or the young people on the leadership team here at our parish, and they can give you the information that you need to log on to that conversation. So I really hope to see many of you there. If you're feeling nervous about joining, if you feel that you don't know very many people or you're nervous about having to talk, don't be nervous. You can just join and listen. Don't feel pressured that you have to share anything, but know that we are open to everyone sharing their own experiences. So I hope to see many of you on Sunday, and until then, know that you're loved.